call this meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Kinsey,
Here.
Mossberg,
Here.
Logston,
Here.
Parker, Turner.
Here. And we have a quorum. Kelly Parker said that he wasn't going to be here unless we absolutely had to have him. So we don't have anything that important coming up, so we'll continue on. The next item is approval of minutes of regular meeting held November 9th, 2020.
I move to approve the minutes from November 9th.
Second. Got a motion and second. Call the roll, please.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Kinsey,
Yes.
Logston,
Yes.
Turner.
Yes. Then we'll go on to the next item, reports from the staff. City Council report.
I don't have a whole lot to report. We did not have quorum for our city council meeting in November, so we didn't have a meeting. I will report our November balance. We closed out the books for the financial statements for November, and our cash balance is just over $1 million at the end of November, so still doing really well there. When I meet with the finance committee this month and talk about potentially looking at since our cash position is so good, maybe looking, I know we've talked about, Terry talked about wanting to have a checking account set up for the airport, and so as we can transfer some funds into that, we are still putting money aside for our payment to repay the airport. But we're, as you can see or hear, I guess, we're doing much better than what we anticipated at this point in time. We did receive our CARES funding, so that that obviously makes a big difference for the city and helped our cash position quite a bit. The only other issue, I think Derek will probably talk about the oil inspection. The only other thing I really had is the end of this month will be Derek's 90 days as manager, so I was planning on having executive session where we could have a evaluation and make sure we're still ready to move forward as things have been going. So that's going to be on the agenda for January for you guys.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Anybody have any questions?
Any update on any sales tax revenue, how the city's doing there?
We've still been holding steady where we're at. We're usually in that 5 to 10% under budget, but which is honestly better than what we anticipated. We're keeping our expenses in line with the revenue that we've received in. Airport revenue is, our fuel sales have been better, so our expenses are pretty much in line with where I feel like we need to be. I haven't analyzed, since we closed out the financial statements for November, I haven't had a chance to sit down and analyze that, but I need to take a look at that to make sure we're still on target there. But sales tax is in that same spot of being between 5 and 10% under budget, which I'm pleased with, even though it's not where we want to be.
Right. Yeah. Could have been worse.
Yes, that's exactly right. Anything else?
There's not anything else. Then we'll move on to the next item. Part B is manager's report.
Fuel sales were really good in November. We had 7,540 gallons of Jet A sold, 1,523 gallons of low lead, mixed in with some oil sales for a total of $25,373. That was a pretty good month. Several aircraft landed after hours. Most of it was scheduled in advance, with some being very short notice, but we were very accommodating and the pilots left satisfied, and with good things to say about our airport and service and prices. I worked Thanksgiving, we had a scheduled landing, and along with the transient, it was low on fuel, and I was glad we were open because another airport that was close wasn't answering their phone. So even though it was self-serve, he called the cell phone actually somebody from Kansas City called and asked if we were open, because he was in the air. So, I mean, that worked out really well. One beast jet came in, they had issues with the battery, so luckily Dale was here and he was able to put it in, so thankful for that. The Odal's final inspection was on December 9th. It went well. Everything looks great, works great. They wanted to check to make sure the approach lights were straight. And what was it? Oh, they looked at the real light, the reels. The PAPI's on 3.6. That issue still, that wasn't what they thought, was just the lamps. They called tech support and said it was a circuit board. So that could be kind of expensive. But he's going to get a quote and we'll kind of go from there. Hoydale is in the process of getting the dispenser. Due to COVID, shipping takes longer, so they said it could have taken up to a month. But they've also got, with the dispenser, they're going to order a new hose reel for Jet A because it is leaking pretty bad whenever we pump into the truck. So that together could possibly be over $2,000 or $10,000 when it's all said and done. Maintenance-wise, so we got the trees trimmed. We cleaned and organized the shop in the round top where we can actually do something in there. I don't remember if last month I talked about that or not. I can't remember. But also cleaned the curbs on the entryways, so when the street sweeper gets ready to go, it can routinely come in and sweep those so the dirt doesn't pile up and grass doesn't grow in there. New fuel signs we put up in place of the faded ones on the Jet A and the Avgas. That I think was $227. And I went around and they tried to poison the gophers. I don't know how many I got, but they're everywhere. I started from over by Place Plastic and worked my way down here. It took me all morning because there were so many. So, and whatever's making a hole out in the turf runway, I did go and pack dirt in that and smoothed it out, so hopefully I went back out the next day to see if it pushed any of that dirt out, and it hadn't. So the Facebook page is growing slowly, but it's growing. We're kind of gathering some info, so when COVID slows down and gatherings aren't frowned upon, we can put together a fly-in, or even just a local town gathering, in the spring. If it's the fly-in, I'll try to contact the OAC and have them advertise as well, so we can kind of get the word out. But we'll kind of see how everything shapes up. We're going through the hangar lease and the charge accounts, and ones that are overdue and ones that are 60 days or more are getting notices and second notices, and if they're not taken care of, we'll be starting the eviction process. So nothing favorable for either side to do, but there's waiting lists for the hangars, so if it's not getting paid for or used properly, then we need to correct that and get people in that wheel. So, and that's about all I got.
Have you been adjusting the fuel prices some to attract business in, or you been leaving?
Yes, I lowered jet fuel to $2.55, and that was, it was lower than Woodward, and it was way lower than Enid and any of the surroundings. Some of those are still like $3.60 or more. The the price of our ag gas, so. After this new load that I bought, I had to raise it 5 cents to 2.60, but that's still lower than everybody else. The ag gas is the same. I imagine though, if I have to order more ag gas, then it's gonna go up because it's at, oh, I just looked and I can't remember, but I'll probably have to raise it 10 cents or so to get that 50-cent profit margin. And then I did take the full service price off and just to try to see if that will move the truck more. So far, last month I filled it with 510 gallons. I filled the truck, and then at the beginning of the month I put another 750 gallons in the truck. So we've been moving it quite a bit more. So I just think if we move the truck more, it's not going to sit, deteriorate. That fuel will move a little faster.
You've done some maintenance on that truck as well, haven't you? Not with the other.
Well, we haven't really done anything to the ag gas truck besides the vacuum. And then the jet fuel truck, we haven't done anything since we replaced a couple of fuel lines.
I just didn't remember if that was last month and since I wasn't here talking about this.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of people purposely, schedule fuel stops here because of fuel prices are so low. So I think that's what attracted most of the business last month, besides the fact that a lot of the hunters are back. But
It sure looked like increased traffic last month, so.
yeah, there was times when that's all we were doing. Kind of nice that the grass wasn't growing.
Okay, anything else on the manager's report? If not, we'll go on to the next item, remarks and inquiries by airport commission members. One thing I might mention, I don't know who's responsible for it, but the light on top of the water tower over there is out.
On our water, or the little one after.
Some of these dark nights when people are coming through, it's kind of important to have it lit.
Okay.
Airport looks really good. Trees look good. You took care of that. You're mentioning that for several years that I would go out there if I was doing it. If you anything you have to duck under while you're mowing needs to be trimmed off.
Yeah, that's one reason I did. I didn't get smacked in the face.
Yep.
Plus, it looks a lot better with the stragglers not around the base of the tree.
Oh yes, definitely. Anything else?
Yes, I'd like to commend the manager for doing a good job. We've got some of our cross-country jets back that we lost under the previous manager. So you're definitely doing a lot of things right.
Aviation is a pretty small community, and word of mouth spreads really quickly. A lot of these corporate pilots go in and out of multiple airports, and they sit around and wait, and they talk to the other pilots around there, and they spread the word. So, anything else? If not, we'll go on to the next item, remarks and inquiries by the citizens.
I have something.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to say what Terry said. We have a Sunday coffee club now again. It's awesome. I mean, it's like people like coming here again. So the atmosphere is good, and when you come in, walk in, see 6 or 8 people in here talking, and listen to Terry tell the same stories he told last week. It's pretty good. I was able to get on Advanced Air Force Base. I met with Matt Simpson, the captain, He is also the T6 Wing Safety Officer, so I just happened to meet the right guy. And we had a nice long conversation about it. One thing why you're seeing the increase in traffic is they're emphasizing more practice at non-towered airports and NTA, and that's what we are. And I approached him about them landing, buying fuel, briefing, rebriefing, and of course the issue is the fuel card, like we talked about. I've since been able to provide Derek some links on the air card, is what it's called, and there's some from the Defense Logistics Agency. So I feel at this point it's probably Derek's job to work with you guys and Angelica about the airport getting an air card, because I wouldn't have anything to do with that. But I'll continue to liaison with Vance, and Matt is really interested. He's also the Med-Air Collision Avoidance Program Manager, and you see the pamphlets. So when we do have a first fly-in or a Saturday get-together, he's willing to probably bring a couple of T6s up here for static display for the people and kind of brief and talk to the folks about the local flying and what they're doing. So it's very productive. We'll continue to research, continue to report, work with Derek. So that's it.
Appreciate that. Appreciate you going over it publicly.
Oh, if I may.
Yeah.
It's not just the Vance T6s. He said, Columbus Air Force Base, all the training bases, they're looking for Midwest fuel stops when they're doing their cross countries. Right now, Garden City is the only one that's a civilian field with an air card. So he said, man, he goes, we could end up with, a lot of good traffic, not just from Vance. So, because once you get an air card, it goes out DOD wide. Anyone with a government military card can stop and get fuel that can legally land at the airport.
You got all the information you need working on it?
Yeah, I opened the links that he sent me, and I've got the forms. I'm probably gonna have to click that printer over there, prints color. So I need to print them off and then try to fill them out. Either probably fax them in, or actually, first I'm gonna call that number that he pointed out to me that's on the first one, so.
Okay. Sounds good. Anything else by any of the citizens? Nope. If not, we'll go to the next item, which is adjournment. Thank you.